Hi, everybody. If you can hear me well, please comment down below and let me know that you can hear me well. I am trying a different setup today. Hopefully, you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Perfect. That's great. Welcome back. And those of you who are new around here, welcome to my space. I'm going to give it a few more seconds or about a minute or two for you to settle in. Maybe grab your journal if you've been on this call last week. Maybe grab your journal and whatever you wrote as an intention for the previous week, the energy that you wanted to bring, maybe you get a chance to reflect on that as well. And get yourself in a vibe to set intentions for this week. While we're waiting, I'm wondering, where are you all tuning in from? I'm tuning in from Cumbria, UK. Yay, from Dublin. Australia, wow. Beautiful. I think we waited for about 2 minutes, so I'm gonna start. For those of you who are new to these sessions, to these live sessions, my name is Hedi Shah. Short for Hediye. It means gift. It's a Farsi name. And I am running these live sessions with the intention of creating space for us to arrive on Mondays to be able to set intentions for the week that is coming up. And I know that to live an unconditioned life and design a life that is not conditioned by societal standard, by our family structure, and so many of us are carving new paths, we need to have spaces to be able to recommit to the vision that we have for our lives. So I intend for these space to be that cozy little space that you get your drink, you get your journal, and you arrive and spend 30 minutes with me to explore whatever that is going on in your life and what intentions you can set for the week that is coming up. So the way I structure these sessions, like I said, they are 30 minutes long. We go through a reflection of the previous week for this week, and then we're going to do a grounding and meditation practice to set intentions for the week that is coming up. I personally committed my life to support humans to break free from the societal construct and create their unconditioned lives so they can turn setbacks into strength, experience greater vitality and creativity, and trust in their bodies. So I do that through so many different modalities, magics of mindfulness. Well, that's why you're here. And then I also support people with posture alignment as well as functional strength training. And I really believe that we live in a system that wants to turn us into high-functioning robots and disconnect us from our true nature, and then also make us in a way that we're stuck in the survival and we forget how we can feel whole and thriving. So choosing to thrive is an act of bravery. And I'm hoping that a part of you have that bravery to be here to recommit to the unconditioned path that you're creating over and over and over again. So what do you need for the session? A journal. If you've been here last week, maybe your journaling notes or the notes that you wrote to yourself from last week, have those handy. an uninterrupted space for the meditation portion so you can deeply reflect and carve out this time for the week. And before we get into today's sessions, what is coming up really strongly for me is this sense of childlike curiosity. And I want to share that theme with you as well. It's like how childlike do you feel right now? Do you feel like you're really tapping into that energy and giving yourself permission to be curious and to trust and figure out, or that conditioning or that inner critic constantly judge you for wanting to explore new things or exploring a new way of being? So I want you to have that as the soil and the texture of today's session. And I will bring that essence into our meditation a little bit as well. So we're going to start with reflecting, but before that, I want you to ground yourself a little bit. So take a moment to arrive in the space, feel your feet on the ground, maybe look around your space, wherever you are, and just witness the details, maybe something on the wall, maybe something behind you, maybe something around you that really brings you joy and warmth. Maybe my cozy drink here, that the warmth allows me to ground and come down to the feeling body, to the sensation of my being. Have your feet plant a little bit deeper on the ground. And notice where your breath is at without changing it, just witnessing, how am I breathing right now? And can you soften in that? We often want to go straight into fixing and changing, which we will be changing our state of mind today to be able to plan our week. But I want you to also acknowledge where you are and be curious. And as you're stepping into this feeling of curiosity, I want you to look at your last week. Maybe you have your calendars open, maybe you have your journals open, maybe you can just explore what you remember from last week. How did last week feel for you? How did you overall feel? If you've been here last week and you set some intentions, maybe go back to your intentions and compare your intentions and how the week went, not through the lens of criticizing yourself and judging yourself for not accomplishing what you intended for, but rather through the lens of curiosity. And if you had to describe last week with one word, what that word would be? And if you think about the unconditioned life that you want to create, that unique expression of you that doesn't have the pressure of functioning in the society and to be a certain way. If you look at your last week, where is in that last week? What did you do? How did you show up? Where were those moments that you showed up with the true commitment to your unconditioned life? To the life that yours, that you get to create. Not the quantity of the things that you did, the number of times you showed up online, maybe if you're running a business like I am. No, the quality and the texture of that. How was it? How did it feel like when you actually showed up in alignment, in integrity with the unconditioned life that you're committed to creating? What was those moments? What were you doing? Who were you being? Take notes of that. It can be a whole paragraph. It can be just bullet points. The next question that I want you to reflect on is, where did you feel that you were pulled away by distractions, by habits, by societal conditioning? Maybe you get too occupied with a certain way of doing things rather than being and feeling what you actually wanted to be, who you wanted to be, what you wanted to focus on. The question is, I repeat it again, where did you feel pulled away by distractions, habits, or societal constructs or conditionings? And I want you to, when you're reflecting on your last week, oftentimes we have that critical mind of what we need to fix as we're going to this week. I want you to also invite this ability to hold polarities. Maybe XYZ went really well, but that didn't really well. Can you hold the polarities and the mix of emotions, the mix of how you felt? Rather than feeling that you need to be cookie cutter, you need to be positive, you need to be this, you need to be on all the time. It's like, what is the polarities that you're holding right now? Before we go on to the meditation portion of the session, I also want you to do a consciously think about your upcoming week. Maybe you know the important things that are coming up. Maybe you're thinking of what are your priorities, what are you going to be focusing on. I want you to take a look at your week and think about, what do you think you may need to fully be committed to designing your unconditioned life? What are the habits, behaviors, feelings that might be supportive or might not be supportive? I don't want you to get into too much details on this section. We're just thinking about what consciously we can think of. Or even you could think about the shoulds, like what you think you should be doing. Okay, now we can slowly transition to our meditation practice to set intention for the week that is coming up. We start the meditation practice with some breathing to be able to fully arrive into the body. And as I always say, bring the mind back to the body where it belongs. And then we get into that, the main section of our meditation. So have your feet planted, get yourself into a comfortable, grounded place. Make sure that you look away from the screen. You don't need to look at me as we're going through this. So you can get into the experience of your body and your being. Feeling your feet on the ground or feeling your bum on the ground. And let yourself become a little bit more grounded, increasing your touch point to the ground. Bring your attention to the bottom of your feet, to the ball of your feet, to the area right underneath your big toe. And connect to your breath and notice if you can get a little bit taller in the space, gently getting taller and arriving in your full length of the spine. We start the breathing by breathing from the base of your belly, your pelvic floor, and bring in the air all the way up to the top of your head. So we're coming one layer at a time, bringing it all the way up and hold it on the top. So breathe in, bring that air all the way up. Now I want you to squeeze your belly as if you're pushing this energy upward a little bit more. And maybe soften your gaze and stay in your experience of this breath hold, feeling the energy of survival moving up into creativity, into expression, into bravery. Exhale out. An audible exhale out. Take another breath in. Bring the air all the way up to the top of your head. Squeeze the belly, maybe a little bit more activating now, a little bit harder now. And moving the energy through your spine all the way up to the top of your head. And feeling that you're moving the stagnation energy upwards out of your system. The energy of survival that we're all been brainwashed and programmed by society, by our lived experiences, not to devalidate any of those. Just honoring them and allowing them to move through you. And then exhale out. Don't be afraid of hearing your own sound, the audible breath out, releasing anything that needs releasing from last week, last couple of weeks, last little while. Letting yourself relax and soften every time the breath hold ends. We get to activate and relax and soften. Take another breath in, bring it all the way up, squeeze the belly, hold. Exhale out. One more breath here. Breathe in all the way up. We need to go to a new edge with your breath, a new length being created in your spine. Feeling all the conditioning, all the programmings, all the stories, all the noise of the world is melting down to the surface beneath you, and you're getting taller in your own power, in the ways in which you meant to show up in the world. Squeeze that pelvic floor. We're going to hold it a little bit longer. Full exhale out. And let yourself rest and relax here. As you're looking into this new week, invite your childlike curiosity, the essence, the untouched, unconditioned essence of the child within, to look at this week. And casting a vision of what are you inviting this week? What are you creating this week? Who are you being this week? Tap into the feeling energy, into the essence of what you want to feel. How are you feeling when you wake up in the morning? How are you feeling when you're doing your work? How are you feeling when you're showing up for family? How are you feeling when you're showing up for yourself? Are you being run by guilt and shame and doing more and being in the survival? Or are you going to tap into a new expression that you know is available to you, but it's being dusted? You want to dust it off. Opening your heart. No matter how stupid and dumb that may sound to the critical mind, that's why I said invite the energy of that childlike curiosity. What is the vision for your life? What is the vision for this week? If this week was one of the puzzles of the vision that you have for your life, how do you want it to feel like? What are your behaviors? What are your habits? What are the things that you focus on? Where are your priorities? Where are you set it? Where are you that you need to set boundaries? Feeling this expanded feeling, and from this place of from this expansive place, I want you to now look at the potential downfall of this week, the things that often happen that you react to, the things that often happen that disrupt your flow, the things that normally come up, or the patterns or the behaviors or the dynamics or the boundaries that are being broken that take you out of your state of flow and being committed to your unconditioned path. And witness those negative patterns showing up, and witness how are you feeling, what happens, how are you engaging with those patterns, what is their energy looks like, what are the thoughts that are coming up. From this expanded place, you want to witness the dynamics that take you away, that pull you away from your commitment to yourself, to the life that you're creating. Now I want you to take a breath in, as if your breath is the bridge that brings you back to that expanded vision. Reconnect to that expanded vision that you connected with a few minutes ago. How does it feel? Let it move through every part, every cell of your body. Once again, remember, who are you being? What are you prioritizing? What are the tasks that you decide to say no to? Where is it that you're going to protect your own energy? And where is it that you get to give all of your energy? Now put both of your hands on your heart as if you're signing a contract with yourself, with the divine. That you're making a choice to remain committed and devoted to the unconditioned path that you're creating for your life. You may not know how it looks like, how all the pieces of the puzzles are coming together. What you choose to is to show up and be on the path. Feeling your heart being expanded, feeling this expanded energy of your heart move into your offices, into your communities, into the place of your work, into your creative endeavors. Whisper to yourself, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing the best that you can. Thank you for moving forward for all that are coming before you and all that are coming after you. Take a breath in and exhale out. Slowly bring yourself back to the room that you're in, bringing gentle emotion into your fingertips and asking yourself, what is your commitment this week? What kind of energy are you inviting in? Write it down to yourself. What is the soul that you're planting all the seed in? And if you feel called to, share your word that you choose for the week, if you choose to, or an intention. I'm sure it's going to inspire everybody, including myself. What is your word for the week? What is it that you feel called to share in the space, in the comment section, if that's what you choose to? And if this work touched you in any shape and form, you can go to my profile, support me in however you can. I would really appreciate that. And these weekly live sessions are happening every Monday at 1 p.m. UK time. I would love to see you back so we can keep each other accountable as we're walking on this unconditioned path. Thank you for joining. If you had any breakthroughs that you don't feel like sharing on the comment and you want to send me a message, I'm always happy to hear about your experiences, what comes up. And this session is complete. And I'll see, hopefully I see all of you next week. Have a beautiful unconditioned week, everybody.